Motorcycle and power sports enthusiasts of the world, welcome back to another episode of Dealer Dialogue. I'm Kyle Alexander. I'm an editor for Motorcycle and Power Sports News. And today I'm joined by REV Powersports co-owner Collin Johnson out of Jackson, Tennessee. Hey, Collin, thanks for chatting with me today.
Hey, thanks for having me, Kyle.
Awesome. Well, first things first, let's get into a little bit about you. Tell me about your background, maybe in the industry, how you got into motorcycle and power sports, running a dealership. Maybe talk a little bit about your dealership. How many employees do you have?
Yeah, wonderful. So, man, I've been in the power sports industry since I was a kid. Down from when we first started modifying our ATC 70s, our three wheelers, all the way up till I built my first competition ATV. Just everything in between. It was always just a hobby. And then I kind of took a detour. I went off to college and got a degree in business management. And I came full circle. After college, I got into aviation maintenance actually, and so I worked on airplanes and worked in the corporate flight department for about 7 years. And I was a victim of department downsizing, got laid off. Long story short, I approached my current business partner, who's a longtime friend and an excellent mechanic, that I approached him, and we decided to join forces, and kind of open up our own shop, and that's where REV Powersports was born. And I guess that was about 7 years ago now that we opened up, and we had a dream and developed it into something that we're each very proud of. We currently operate the largest Segway dealer in the country, as far as a volume number. We have 8 fantastic employees, very critical members of our team, and yeah, so we're real excited to be going.
Very cool. Always got to come back to what you love, right?
That's it.
Yeah. You were mentioning Segway there. Why did you guys decide to take on Segway as an OEM manufacturer that you sell at REV Powersports?
So we had always looked into the notion of picking up a brand and picking up an OEM. We were approached by multiple OEMs about carrying their line. It's just none of the other OEMs seemed to align with our interests. We wanted a brand that was going to share a commonality, and they would give us the resources and tools to be the dealer that I know we're capable of being. And Segway came on board, and they this was before they ever even introduced the lifetime powertrain warranty and some of the different things that they're doing now that's really moving the needle in the power sports world. But they kind of told me about the direction they were headed, and it really opened our eyes into seeing that they're actually trying to do things a little bit differently, and we knew we wanted to be a part of that. And outside of the stuff like that, the innovation, it's a fantastically innovative company with the technology that they're utilizing, and just their ability to think outside the box, and just the grassroots kind of feel of growing this brand, of growing this innovative company. It's a really exciting thing to be a part of.
Awesome. You were mentioning you guys are the biggest Segway dealer in the country. Maybe tell me a little bit about some other unique aspects of your dealership.
We are always trying new methods of marketing, scheduling, assembly, that sort of thing. We really take pride in our ability to outfit new machines with some creative accessories. We push the envelope when it comes to the performance side of things versus adding bigger wheels and tires, lift kits, A-arms, cool stereos, just developing new products as a whole. That's a big part of what allows us to operate, and some people's minds, they may think this is the coolest side by side they've ever seen, but if they can't see that the potential of what the machine could be, or maybe they don't have the creative gene that lets their mind work that way. So sometimes we like to take that out of the equation, and we just present it. We put our best foot forward. We show you For example, we've got a midnight edition. So it's a black on black everything. It's got cool wheels and tires and lights everywhere. And it really moves the needle for customers when they come in our shop and they see this big, beautiful side by side. And everything's already done, and it's factory installed or from the dealer installed. And it's a really cool thing that kind of establishes a connection there with that customer that may not have been there otherwise.
For sure. For sure. That midnight edition sounds awesome, by the way. That sounds
It's
sweet.
fantastic. Yeah.
I bet. So let's kind of transition here. Talk a little bit maybe about some of the challenges you guys have dealt with over the past year, few years even, over at REV Powersports. What's been challenging you guys recently?
So I would say probably our biggest challenge has also been our biggest blessing, and it's growing pains. We've kind of went from a small scale operation to we're still small in terms of what we are, but we're small in a different way. And so our biggest challenge has been being able to manage that workload, the scheduling difficulties. So, and then you've always got deadlines. We've always got demand to meet. Towing the line, kind of towing the line between what is practical and what makes financial sense as a business standpoint versus what's fun and what we want to do to these machines. That's my passion. That's what we here at REV Powersports are passionate about is taking these things and making them cool. Or in Segway's case, cooler than they are out of the box. So it's just again, towing the line between doing those things versus what is profitable for the business. That's
For sure.
that is a challenge.
Oh, I understand. How are you guys maybe working to overcome some of that, some of those growing pains you were mentioning?
We're always trying new ways of marketing, new ways of development, new ways of assembly, the whole 9 yards. But probably the biggest thing I've been able to do that has helped us the most is learning to delegate. So when you put the people in a position to succeed, not only do you grow them as an employee and you grow their value to the company, but they inherently take the departmental success into their hands. And what it does, it gives them ownership of their particular job, of their particular department, and it makes them feel appreciated. It makes them feel needed. And what it does is it takes that off of me personally and lets me kind of take a managerial standpoint and focus on growing the brand, on growing the company as a whole. And the key to that is having the right people in that position. As I said earlier, we've got fantastic people that take pride in their job, and it really makes things easy, and it's a blessing.
Yeah, that's helpful having a good team around you to help get the job done, per se.
Right.
Again, kind of similar realm, but transitioning a little bit here. How do you continue to drive traffic and sales for your guys at REV Powersports?
One thing that we do differently, we actually host frequent riding events. We had a Segway not sponsored, but a Segway ride at a local park, Rainbow Falls, and it's on the Tennessee-Alabama line. And we had 17 Segways just show up for our day ride, and we had multiple other brands that came, and it was a really cool experience. And people get out there and get to ride the Segways, get to see what they're about, and it really lands that connection with certain people, that. But we continue to drive that the traffic there because we. Just like our rides, we call our rides family reunions because we want to treat every member or every customer that comes into the store as a family member, not just a number. We want them to feel appreciated. We want them to feel like a VIP every time they come in here, so that's important to us, and that we feel like it establishes that connection and the bond there that establish as a customer base at the same time.
Awesome. I love the idea of the family reunion too, by the way. That's a good marketing pull right there.
Yeah, that's right.
So let's talk a little bit about pre-owned sales. Do pre-owned sales? Are those a big part of the dealership, small part of the dealership for you guys? How are pre-owned sales involved?
Prior to us picking up Segway, basically pre-owned is all we did. Um, excuse me. It was never really a large part of our business, but honestly, now with Segway on board, no, we really don't do much anymore. And to be quite honest with you, once somebody comes here to look for a pre-owned and I convince them to drive a Segway, they're going to leave in a Segway, man. I mean, it's just that simple.
Sure. Oh, for sure. Now, do you guys do a lot of service work on the Segway stuff as they come in? Like, do you rely on your service department for business, for a good amount of business, maybe compared to sales of vehicles or accessories and stuff like that?
So, like, our business wouldn't be what it is today without our service department. We established this business for 6 years prior to picking up Segway, uh, based solely off of our service, repair, and accessory work. So it kind of makes us unique as a dealer in that perspective. That we have established our reputation in the area for our service department and being able to build and service and maintain every make and model machine. It's really translated for us. As far as the common jobs that the service department does today, everywhere from obviously our primary goal is to have them outfitting new units and keeping them, keeping the units on the floor. That's a big part of the job. But they do everything from mild to wild. So oil changes to full engine builds to transmission rebuilds to full custom audio jobs. You name it. We've got a guy for it.
That's awesome. Very, very cool. Do you guys have maybe a shop tip or trick that makes life easier? I know you were talking about delegating earlier. Is that your shop tip or trick? Or you got another one maybe that could help other dealers out there in the motorcycle and power sports industry?
Yeah, delegating is a very, very helpful in the power sports world. But I know for the longest time I was so hesitant to buy the right tools for the job. And so if I had my personal tech tip, just buy the tool for the job. That way you own it, you have it going forward. It makes the job easier. That would be my advice.
That's a good one. I do stuff at home, so I got to make sure I have the right tools too. I'll
That's
take
right.
that advice with me as I go as well. Right there, Colin.
That's right.
I think that's a good one. Again, kind of moving in another direction here a little bit. What are your thoughts maybe on electric vehicles versus traditional gas-powered vehicles when it comes to Segway stuff, or just electric versus gas-powered stuff in the motorcycle and power sports industry?
So part of the biggest learning curve with Segway is people realizing that they're not electric. Is people inherently think that because it says Segway, it's an electric, and they make the jokes like, there's not a generator in the woods or something like that. But it's actually an incredibly efficient, an incredibly powerful, and an incredibly well-engineered internal combustion engine. And I think that's part of the reason, like, Segway put the lifetime powertrain warranty on it. They're like, hey, we not only do we do electric stuff, but we do something so good in the internal combustion world that we're willing to put a lifetime powertrain warranty on it. And so as far as moving forward, I don't personally see a large market share for the electric only ATV and side by side. The hybrid concept seems to be what I think would be a happy medium there. But at least in my area, we have a lot of woods, and you may be miles from your truck at any given time, and I don't know. I don't think the power sports community as a whole is ready for that transition just yet. So
Sure,
just my opinion.
No, I get it. I understand where you're coming from with that. So let's talk a little bit more about what's coming down the road for you guys at REV Powersports. What are you looking to do in the next year or so? And this could be any aspect of your dealership. What are you looking to do to help improve REV Powersports?
So we want to plan on attending more events. That's a big thing for us to promote the brand, to promote our company, to promote Segways. And the primary goal in doing that is to get as many people behind the wheel of a Segway as possible. Because my whole adage is if I can just get the prospective customer behind the wheel of it and they get to feel the quality, they get to feel the performance, and they get to feel the machine in their, in their hands, they're going to buy the unit. It's a fantastic machine. And so part of that connection we have to establish by going to these events and putting it in hands that we wouldn't get into with otherwise, we plan to continue to push the envelope with our modifying of the Segways in creative ways, showing the riding community, hey, there's a new player in town, and we've just began to scratch the surface. So that's the exciting part, is that we have the ability to grow with Segway as a company, and they're willing to give us the support that we need to make stuff happen and to kind of move the needle in the off-road world, and to just put it out there in front of people. Like we want to do a King of the Hammers car this year with a super villain. We want to get the new Segway units out there and competing in these industries and competing in these competition levels of stuff that they wouldn't be in otherwise. And so that's the goal. It's going to be a big year. 2025 is it's coming up rapidly, but I'm excited about what the future holds. I'm excited about what we have to bring to the Segway community, and we're excited to see what Segway has to bring to the world.
That's awesome. So cool to hear there, Collin. Last question. I mean, is there anything else you want to add about REV Powersports, about Segway, anything at all?
Man, it's a blessing to come to work every day and to work with the type of people that I do. Like I said, I'm fortunate and blessed. My family supports me, and I have that's a big part of our overall success, is having the good support system in place, the good employee base, and just having the right people in the right place at the right time. And it's, I thank God every day for being able to wake up and come to do things that I enjoy doing, that I'm passionate about, and I get to work around people who are passionate about it as well. So, and I thank you for the opportunity to kind of voice these things to you, and yeah, appreciate it.
It's great to hear, Collin. Thanks for joining me, man.
Yes, sir.
Be sure to stay tuned for motorcycle and power sports news for more of the latest and greatest in the industry. Thanks for watching, and see you next time on another MPN Dealer Dialogue.